So the brighter the better, right? Especially for chaos, I think. So I had this idea that I wanted to get started on my chaos night, and I wanted to do the paint job in the same sort of stained glass style that I have used on other chaos projects that I have been working on. But I wanted to do something a little bit different because this is, after all, a big night, right? So he can pull off a bit of a more elaborate paint job, I think. So I wanted to do a design on the shoulder blades, something that would not just be these random shapes. I wanted to do something that, well, depicted something, but I thought I couldn't do something that was too hard to tell because this style of painting is, well, sort of chaotic and a bit over the top. So I went for flames because, I mean, what Warhammer model doesn't like flames, right? So after having painted in the flames and being reasonably happy with them, I started actually putting paint on the model. And for one of the two base colors, I chose Loxian Purple, one of the newer contrast paints from Games Workshop. I mean, it's just a nice excuse to be able to use the purple paint. I've been complaining a little bit about me really liking this paint and not having an excuse to use it. And so, well, here we are. And for the other base color, I chose Volupus Pink, also a contrast paint, because this is the base color that I have used on most of my Chaos Space Marine army. And so I wanted to make sure that it's still tied in with the rest of that army while still perhaps standing out a little bit on its own as well. Then I painted in the trim using Retributor Armor, also a Citadel color. I am not very fond of painting metallics, but I mean, it sort of has to be done. And I do it at this stage because the big surfaces of contrast paints are a bit messy and I'll easily get something on the trim, whereas the metallic paint is a little bit easier to control. So that's why I'm doing it in this way around. The back of the armor plate I just paint black with, I believe it was Black Legion, one of the contrast paints as well. I don't want to spend any time at all painting the back of this armor plate because I want, you know, all of the focus of this model to be on the front. So I just paint it black and then that's it. I have no plans of doing anything further with this because I don't think it's what you'll be looking at anyway. Then for the gold trim, I use a Cryptek Armor Shade, sort of a brown wash, to give a little bit of definition to the gold trim. I'm not being really careful, and this could definitely be done better. But again, painting gold is not my favorite thing in the world. I'll be going back over the gold. It's not done yet, but well, I haven't painted more on it. I wanted to get started on the armor. So I use Terradon Turquoise here to paint in sort of the shapes that I am going to be filling out with more colors to make it look sort of like stained glass windows, I suppose. So this is a well, a kind of a blueprint for where I want the shapes to go. I'll be covering it up later, but it's really nice to have an idea of where you want the colors to go and where you have the tops of the shapes, where you want the brightest highlights and so on. Once that's done, I start highlighting, which is one of the things I enjoy most about this painting process. So I use a color called Radar Red from Huge Miniatures. All these colors I'm using are from Huge Miniatures, except for the white, which I'll get to later. It's a little bit more red in real life, sort of a pale reddish, yellowy, orangey color. I haven't really used it much before. I'm not actually sure I've even used it for a painting process before, or project before, but for this I thought it would work really well. For the next layer of highlight, I use Laser Orange, which is a really vibrant orange color that I like a lot painting. It's just, I mean, bright orange. It just makes you happy somehow. As you'll notice, I'm working from, you know, the bottom up, so my brush tip ends at the tip of each sort of leaf shape, and that's the way I like painting these in the best. I think it makes them look sharpest. You could probably do it the other way around, but this is my method of painting these anyway. So for the last highlight for this for the flames, I am using Starfire Yellow. And as you can see, I try to be careful just to get it on the tip of each flame, because I want to be able to see all the other layers of highlight underneath it as well. So I really like for this color scheme to sort of build up nice and slow from the pink through the reddish to the orange to the bright yellow. Then for the purple, I highlight that using pink because it's the way I've also highlighted the other Chaos Space Marine models. So I thought even though they had most of them had pink underneath, and then I highlighted it with, you know, even brighter layers of pink, I thought that it would tie in nicely with the rest of the army. So I am using Pulsewave Pink for the first highlight, and then I am using Cyber Pink for the next layer of highlight. And again, as you can see, taking a little bit of care to make sure that you can see both the first layer of highlight and the second layer of highlight as well. And lastly, for the purple pink part of the armor plates, I am using just a touch of pure white. This is from the Army Painter Matte White. That I just put at the very tip of each flame. Okay, so I said that painting in the highlights was the part of the painting process I probably enjoyed the most. That's not quite true. I perhaps even like doing this dark black outline even better, because I think it just makes the whole thing really work, because it gets so sharp, you get such really nice clear contrasts. And I'm using Black Legion for the dark outline here as well. Then I grab my Pterodon Turquoise once more, and I just touch, as you can see, the base of each leaf shape with a little bit of that color, just to add a little bit of visual interest and also to help show the direction of each shape. I do exactly the same thing for the orangey part of the armor, except here I'm using Sigvald Burgundy, also contrast paint. I just thought it would be nice if they had different darker tones to them, because this is a very chaotic this is a very chaotic color scheme. So I just wanted to help sort of distinguish where the what part of the painting is the flames and what part of the model is sort of the background. And so I thought it would help just tie it a little bit better together, and also help you with actually seeing what it is. I'm quite happy that I chose to go with a flame design over a more complicated one. I was also thinking about doing a skull or something, but I actually do think it's a little bit difficult to see exactly that it's supposed to be flames. So I don't think it would have worked out really well if I had done something more complex. This, however, I quite like it actually. It looks really confusing, but I think that's okay, because this is for a Chaos Knight, and what is chaos is, if not pure confusion, right? At least that's my idea. So this is where it's at the moment. I haven't painted any more of the knight. I wanted to try out this color scheme. I just had an idea and I really wanted to test it, and I didn't have the patience for building the entire thing. So this is what I have built, which is not built at all. I just clipped it from the sprue. So there you go. I'm a little bit lazy, but I really want to try this out. I just thought it would be quite fun. So I'm quite interested in hearing what you think. Do you think it works? Do you think it's too much, or not enough, perhaps even? Let me know in the comments if you have ideas, suggestions, anything. I would love to know. So if you enjoyed this video, I would of course appreciate a like, and also a subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. And also remember, you can follow me as Dyson Demons on Twitter and Instagram as well, where you can stay up to date on my painting projects. So thank you so much for watching this one, and I'll see you next time. Bye!